Assalamu alaikum, this is Sadat here. Today I'm with brother Saad from WeAllBlessed. If you haven't checked out his channel, make sure that you do.
Before we get into the video, Jazakallah khair, brother Sadat, for inviting me here. It's amazing setup, an amazing vibe, always with you, mashallah, may Allah bless you. If you guys don't know, before we get into the video, please subscribe to the brother's channel, like, share, subscribe, and share his videos. He's been doing amazing work, and may Allah keep us firm.
Ameen. The setup is great, but the setting's kind of crazy because we're in some God-forsaken back alley somewhere behind where you used to work, but you've done a great job of this setup, so thank you for that. Okay, so I've got a short clip because I know on your channel you do a lot of responses and reactions to popular videos, to
Definitely.
popular entertainment videos.
Definitely.
So I've got a clip of a popular entertainment video, which I think we can use as a talking point or as a teaching point, and I thought I'd call you in for help and see what your thoughts are on this clip as well too.
And I'm ecstatic, and Jazakallah khair for bringing me here, and I'm very happy to see what we're going to be talking about, because the topic at hand before you told me a general thing that we were going to be reacting to. So just the topic excites me. And obviously, another thing excites me is just being here with you. Obviously, no pun intended.
Okay, so with that, let's get into the video. And this is a clip from the Steve Harvey Show. You've heard of the Steve Harvey Show, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, funny guy, nice guy. So let's just see what this clip is about here.
Hey Steve, so I'm 23 years old and I've had issues dating since I started dating. The problem is my father is an ex-football player and he's built like a bodybuilder. So growing up, boys would come up to me and they would say, I have a crush on you, but I wouldn't dare date you because your dad is too swole.
Wait a second, what is swole? Just for some people.
Swole means
just for some
big.
uninitiated, uneducated people out there who don't know. I had to Google it myself this morning.
So if you guys don't know what swole means, it means big, buffed, huge, dazed. So many words we can throw.
Right.
So all of these basically means a big
So
muscular.
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing, just like brother Sadat, just like swole, mashallah,
yeah.
I told him today, he's
You're
swole.
telling me I was swole. Yeah, that's cool. All right, thank you, man. You're swell. That's something we used to. Have you come across that? Have you come across this word swell? I don't know.
But I love it.
It's some nerdy thing from the 90s. Oh, that's pretty swell.
It's pretty swell, yeah.
Swell. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So going away to college, you would think it would be better, but boys see pictures of my dad on my social media and they avoid me. So what do you think I should do to find a guy who's not intimidated by my dad?
Is that your dad?
Yes.
You stand up, son.
So this guy's like definition of swell.
Yep. I see your problem. And it's a good problem to have. Let me tell you what, if a boy won't talk to you because that's your daddy, it's because the boy is up to no good. Now, he knows now there's a piece of accountability in your life. So boys know if they up to no good, they're going to pull their usual shenanigans. They're going to have to answer to him. They don't really feel like talking to him. Because, see, he old school. He got that old strength. These young boys, they play video games. He been in the gym, he tear your head off. That's exactly what you need in your life. And sir, let me tell you why. And see, the reason the boys didn't come around in elementary school and all like that, and the reason the boys don't talk to you now is because they know your daddy swole because he done ate some boys. Thank you, man. I appreciate you being a great father, man. Yeah.
Lot to take in.
Yeah. That was a very desi Muslim thing at the end, like the adab kind of thing. Yeah, that kind of thing going. Okay, so that clip was brought to you courtesy of SteveTV.com and the iPod 4 Touch. And it did the job. Right? It did the job. So, I found that clip interesting for a number of reasons, but we didn't actually discuss the clip at all, did we? So I'm just kind of guessing that you're able to guess as to why I found that clip interesting. What was your takeaway and what were your thoughts on that?
You know how she said at the start there is the issue that she's not able to get guys because when they figure out about her dad, they shy away. And then obviously near the end of the video we realized clearly because of his physique. He's swole, clear cut. And to be honest, even me thinking about this, being single, thinking about this, like, envisioning myself in that area, going for somebody, and then I see her dad in a way, oh my God, it freaks me out. But
imagine seeing him in a dark alley like that.
I would run. I would just run off the side,
Like the horror films, the car doesn't start.
Your father-in-law. He's
You know what? Okay.
Oh Allah. Oh Allah. Oh Allah. So envisioning myself in that, obviously you would be scared because, also not only when it comes to the bodily aspect, when it comes to even her father being involved in her life. That's something which a lot of guys, nowadays especially, they run away from, right? He's a true guardian. That's something, subhanAllah,
Yeah.
which, when you even compare it to our way of life, meaning the way we abide our life by Islam, it's inclined. Not being involved in your daughter's life, not letting your daughter do anything she wants, because sometimes you don't know what's good for you. What do you think is going to happen, Brother Sadat?
Yeah, I think it kind of lines up with a lot of our social values and family values as well too.
Definitely.
Just translate, boyfriend into husband instead. Like obviously the aim for young Muslims is not dating, but is marriage, because we're supposed to be marriage-oriented people. But the basic fundamental point remains the same, right? That where the father there as a guardian, as a protector there, he's sifting out like the riffraff, right? So in the case of Muslims, it would be sifting out the riffraff for her future potential husband,
Definitely.
right? And in this case, it's sifting out the riffraff for her future potential boyfriend, right? But there's a similarity there. In the Quran, in chapter 4, in Surah Nisa, verse 34, it says, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna ala nisa." So men are the protectors or the maintainers or the protecting maintainers of women. Now, the knee-jerk reaction of many modern liberal or secular people is like, oh, that's terrible. That sounds horrible. Men
Controlling.
protect. Yeah, misogynist, controlling. You want to, control your daughter's life or control your sister or your her life or so forth. But look, when Steve Harvey, explains it in his humorous style, I think the audience got it, isn't it?
Definitely.
Like, that's not a Muslim audience sitting there. They all laugh, like, they're nodding, yeah, they're clapping. They get it, They get it, which is that. So, it lines up with common sense, and there's a benefit in this, in people knowing that, she's not alone, she's not vulnerable, she has a family that cares about her, she has a father who cares about her, maybe brothers who care about her, and if they're gonna mess around with her or try those shenanigans, as Harvey said, this guy's gonna wipe the floor with them. Look, I have a good Muslim friend. He, by the way, he's a good guy and is a responsible guy. He divorced. When he remarried, he married a convert girl. And he told me that one of the advantages of that, like he told me point blank, he said one of the advantages of marrying the convert girl is he didn't have to worry about her father, didn't have to worry about brothers, because the father doesn't care. I'm sorry, but the father didn't care. The brothers didn't care. They're not in the picture. They're not involved in that decision-making process in any way. Their input doesn't count. So he just has to basically convince the girl. Now, fortunately, in the case of this friend of mine, he's actually a good, responsible, practicing Muslim. So the idea there was not that he wanted to exploit her or abuse her or something like that. Yeah, they've been happily married. I think it's been like a decade. They have 2 children together, mashallah. So hopefully, inshallah, it's a happily ever after story. But the point is that there would be many other men in his place who, if they do want to exploit, if they do just want to use the girl and then throw her out like a used tissue, they're not going to go for a girl whose father and brothers are heavily involved in her life. Naturally, they're going to go for someone who is lonely, who is vulnerable. You see what I mean? And who doesn't have anyone looking out for them.
Exactly. Like, just to piggyback on what you're saying, this is nothing but the truth, right? When you look at all these issues, why are we paying for the medicine when the cure is free? You know what I'm saying? So it comes back to just realizing and coming back to the basic belief that, look, if you're not involved, right? If we're having children and we're not being involved in their lives, then I mean, what's really the point, right? And then we cry when all these atrocities happen. But when you look at the root of these atrocities, a lot of these killers, they have one thing in common: they come from broken families, right? So it comes back to that. Like this girl, like you can see the smile on her face when she looks at her dad. She's proud to call her that. She's proud of him. Look, he's my dad. And, you know, that's the thing we should strive towards, you know, showing our daughters, being there in their lives, telling them that we love them. And because then if you don't do that, then another man will come and he will say that. And then
Exactly.
since she's never been told she's been loved, I mean, she's going to be taken aback by that, right?
And also, as somebody pointed out in the comments, I think more than one person, the guy looks like the friendliest guy ever, to be honest with you, right? He looks like the nicest guy ever, which tells you that just the presence alone is a statement, right? Like just the father being there with the daughter is a statement. So what I'm saying is that I think this alludes to kind of a lost wisdom that is, you know, it's already there in the Islamic tradition. You know, the idea of male guardianship, the idea behind that is not control her, exploit her, something like that. This is the idea, as you see in this video, like a loving, protective father. You know what I mean? That's the idea there. And I want to address the swole thing as well too, right? It doesn't mean like the average father is not going to be built like this guy,
He
right?
might be swole from, he might be a bull.
Yeah, maybe a bull instead of a swole, right? But it's consistency that matters. If it's a one pack, but you're consistent with it,
You gotta found
yeah, exactly. But just to address the swole thing, I mean, the average man is not built like that. But look, you see, you know, my wife, she has two brothers. You add the two brothers up, and they'll equal one of these guys. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
You add up three brothers. You add up a father and a brother. Well, that's now something to consider.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, when I got married, right?
MashaAllah.
Yeah, maybe it was between the nikah and the walima. I was in London, and my memory's kind of vague now, but I know that her two brothers took me for a drive. So they were in the front two seats. They're older. I was sitting in the back. I think we were headed maybe to the hotel lobby just to confirm a reservation for us or something like that. And we went into the hotel lobby, confirmed the confirmation. There was a young lady receptionist working in the hotel lobby. When we went back into the car, one of the brothers said to the other brother, they're both married, by the way, right? But they said, hey, that girl working at the receptionist, she was really cute, eh? Like, she was really pretty, eh? And then one of them turned around and looked at me too. Yeah, he said that. She was really pretty, wasn't she? I knew it was a setup. I knew they were testing me out, right? Not that acknowledging the girl's beauty would have been the worst thing of the world. I mean, I could have, you know, but I just said, I don't know. I didn't notice her. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. No, but on a serious note, had I said, yeah, you know, she was a pretty girl, I don't think that would have been taken in a bad light. But had I said, yeah, man, she was hot, like what am I saying about myself? Like, what image am I projecting, right, to my brothers-in-law? So because then they looked at each other and kind of smiled or grinned too. I knew that it was a test. They were kind of testing to see if I'm some kind of, you know what I mean, sleazy player,
like
scam artist. Yeah, no, like, I mean, just a womanizer type of, what kind of guy am I? So it makes a difference, Saad, you know what I mean? They don't have to be big and built, but their presence, and I knew from that, they care. They're looking out for their sister.
And you know, like you said, little did they know that you were that Canadian brother. You see what I did there?
Well, I'm Canadian, you're Canadian,
And
we all Canadian.
You blessed, I'm blessed, and we all blessed. We call Canadian now. Hopefully, on a side note, hopefully we don't look like jinns in the video because of the bottom light. You know when you smile, it looks like...
Yeah, well, you look scarier right now than that guy in the video. I tell you, man, you got that kind of, you got the Blair Witch Project kind of effect going there.
You can call me Mophead.
Well, Mufti Tariq Masood is an Islamic scholar. He summarizes this really well. He says, like, a Muslim woman is a rose. She's a flower. She's a rose. But just like a rose has thorns, the Muslim woman is surrounded by thorns as well too. Those thorns are her father and her brothers and her uncles. You see what I mean? And those thorns are warning you to tread carefully.
Those are some sharp thorns.
Exactly. Tread carefully. And so the idea here is ultimately to value and to respect the Muslim woman, because she's not a plaything. And this father in the video, his presence is letting people know the same thing. My daughter is not a plaything. I think that's a good thing.
100%. You know, I also agree with this because, like, this is a very powerful thing you just said. You know, that the thorns, you know, her father, her uncle, her brothers being that thorn, and hopefully Allah allows us young men, if Allah has given us sisters, to be thorns. Not saying that we go purposely pricking people. What a thorn does, if you step on it, it'll prick you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me. Remember to subscribe to Brother Saad's channel, We All Blessed, and we'll see you the next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
You can just tell him that we're doing a video. I hope I will be done soon.
We're just doing a video. We'll be done. Okay, thank you.